Hello, everyone. You're listening to Cinema 5000. My name is Mallory. This is my podcast. How is it going? It has been a little while since I've done an episode. I was on vacation, and in prepping for vacation, I wasn't really going to the movies a lot, but I did see a number of feature films. I also watched a number of short films, some that are nominated for Academy Awards for the Oscars, which are being held on March 15th. I'm pretty sure I'm releasing this on the morning of March 15th, or maybe the Saturday evening, the 14th. I'm not quite sure. We'll talk about it. Or no, we're not going to talk about it. We're talking about it now. We're going to talk about the Oscars when they're done, that is. Yeah. I've been a little bit under the weather, so I'm like trying to power through this so I have an episode before the Oscars to talk about things that are nominated. But anyway, we're at 5,960 films. So where do we start? We start with The Smashing Machine from 2025, directed by Benny Safdie. The tagline is the unforgettable true story of a UFC legend. In the late 1990s, up-and-coming mixed martial artist Mark Kerr aspires to become the greatest fighter in the world. However, he must also battle his opioid dependence and a volatile relationship with his girlfriend Dawn. Dwayne Johnson, or The Rock, you might know, he plays Mark Kerr, and Dawn, his girlfriend, is played by Emily Blunt. This movie is nominated for an Academy Award for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. I only kind of watched this because it was on HBO Max and it was nominated, so I was like, I'll give it a shot. I was not impressed with this movie. It is very typical and cliche of movies that are about boxers and their girlfriends and their relationships. Think Raging Bull. Think Southpaw, if you saw that one. There's just nothing really special here. I didn't think the filmmaking was very special from Benny Safdie. If you're a fan of his, you might also be disappointed. There's just nothing really special about this movie, unfortunately, I think, and I don't think anybody's really great in this. The makeup work, I guess, is good, but I can't find a real reason to watch this one. It's also 2 hours long, 123 minutes. It went kind of fast for me, thankfully. But I had to give this one 2 stars. I just can't find anything really special about this one. There's not much to talk about. It's the rise and fall of this guy, and he's working at home in the United States and then goes to Japan for these UFC events, and it's an up-and-coming sport, so it's not really a proven profitable thing, so he doesn't really get compensated a lot, and that's kind of the movie. And there's also a documentary about Mark Kerr called The Smashing Machine as well, so I have to question why make this movie? Why, Benny Safdie, why? Yeah, it's just not really for me at all. But then again, I don't think anybody I am friends with on Letterboxd has given it much of a high rating anyway. I don't know. It's just kind of giving forgettable filmmaking, not really anything special, unfortunately. So 2 stars for The Smashing Machine from 2025, directed by Benny Safdie. I think you can do better, especially in the, boxing, movie, sports, extreme sports kind of thing, if it's about UFC. Yeah, not so great. Next up, though, I did watch the film Red Rooms from 2023, directed by Pascal Plante. The tagline is, "We see you, and you are obscene." The high-profile case of serial killer Ludovic Chevalier has gone to trial, and Kellyanne is obsessed. When reality blurs with her morbid fantasies, she goes down a dark path to seek the final piece of the case's puzzle. This movie stars Juliette Garapi as Kellyanne, and she befriends Clementine, who's played by Laurie Babin. These 2 young women are going to the trial of Ludovic Chevalier, who has committed awful crimes of violence against women and filmed these crimes. Clementine, however, is convinced that Chevalier is being framed. Kellyanne, however, has the pieces of the puzzle to prove to Clementine that is probably not the case. And it goes down a dark path of obsessives with true crime, and that's like a very relevant subject in my perspective. The way that people are very much fascinated by true crime and will make podcasts and TV shows, and these kinds of things aren't necessarily new. I think about your 2020s, your 48 Hours, your Datelines and stuff, and the news programming that really talks about murder and all these things happening in the world that are so horrifying. But then the obsessive stuff that can happen through the internet and other kinds of media, they're really brought to light in this film in relation to what is happening these days. And the Kellyanne character, she's, she is very much a movie character in some of the things she does. And I was kind of like, who would do that? For some things, but other things I was very much like, yeah, people would go down that rabbit hole of the dark web and such and like really search for that awful, disgusting material. This is a troubling film. I don't think it's a great film, but I do think it's a good film. Not a good thing. And if you are into sort of that darker horror, serial killer kind of stuff, like maybe your Silence of the Lambs and whatnot, the movies that are actually pretty well done and not necessarily just like for the ickiness factor, that want to really talk about people and their motivations and why they do the things they do, maybe this is a movie that you might find entertaining. I will give a warning though, it is pretty gnarly and gross in the kinds of things it talks about, and yeah, it's very suggestive. But I think this is a good film. I gave Red Rooms 3 stars from 2023, directed by Pascal Plante. You can watch this on Shudder. I think it's available as a general digital rental as well. Good performances. It is very much a movie though. Sometimes it kind of lost me with it getting very movie-like, cinematic, I guess. But I enjoyed my time watching this, and I would be interested to see what Julia Carappi does next, as well as what Pascal Plante does for future films. And I have a couple of movies now in my my watch list to check out for his work and see what he does next. Yeah, again, I will say that this movie is troubling. So you have been warned. Okay, so up next, I watched Mr. Nobody Against Putin from 2025, directed by David Borenstein. This is nominated for Best Documentary Feature at the upcoming Academy Awards. The incredible story of an ordinary Russian teacher who exposed Putin's propaganda machine. As Russia launches its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, primary schools across Russia's hinterlands are transformed into recruitment stages for war. Facing the ethical dilemma of working in a system defined by propaganda and violence, a brave teacher goes undercover to film what's really happening in his own school. This stars Pavel Telekin as the teacher in question. He finds how shall I say it? He finds the crew that films this movie. He says he's like doing a project with the BBC to his school. And it tells the story of like how things are happening. And he naturally films a lot of things as part of the projects he does with students. So it's really not, question much about like, oh, well, he's filming things. But he wants to tell the story of how things have changed in his school. And propaganda in schools and different programs is really nothing new. I think the movie could have maybe done a better job in painting the portrait of other kinds of things that happen with propaganda in schools for children and administrations. It's a little short-sighted in that respect, but I think this is a good documentary. Pavel's story, you can tell he's very heartbroken by what's happening, and he can only do so much to really get by every day with everything happening, so he has to ultimately make a choice. Like, is he going to still go along with all this, or is he going to maybe defect? So, movies' motivations for telling the story, I think, are good. The actual filming of this and the storytelling it's telling, I was not really like surprised by anything, and I kind of question why some things were kind of a little slight rather in the portrayal. But I do think this is a good documentary. I give this 3 stars. Though I will say, if I didn't know this was nominated for, if I knew this was not nominated for an Academy Award, it was just a general documentary, I don't know if I would watch it, and I don't know if anybody's going to remember this one either. Because it is an interesting story, and I think Pavel's perspective is, relevant, but, like, it's just, there's a slightness to it that kind of makes it feel a little underwhelming, and that's not even about the runtime, it's just about the content and how it portrays things, the filmmaking itself. So, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, 2025, directed by David Borenstein. Gave this one 3 stars. I think it's fine. I also don't think it's going to win Best Documentary Feature. I think The Perfect Neighbor is going to win. And that's available on Netflix. Mr. Nobody Against Putin, you can rent this as a digital rental. It's also available in the video store on Letterboxd in case you want to check it out there. So, yeah. All right. So, I went on my vacation to Disney World. How fantastic. I ended up watching 2 Mickey Mouse shorts because why not? You're on vacation. You need some downtime. You're still in the Disney bubble. What are you going to do? I stayed at a Disney resort. I don't go for the big bucks. I'm not a Grand Floridian. person. Don't have DVC. No, I stay at Pop Century. That is my favorite hotel. It is just so much fun. It's so big and crazy, and I love when you get on the bus at the end of the night for Magic Kingdom and they're playing things like the Family Feud theme in the bus, and you're just like, what am I doing with my life? Um, and plus it's connected to the Skyliner for, those parks that are connected. But I love it. And so I watched a couple Mickey travel shorts. The first was Mr. Mouse Takes a Trip from 1940, directed by Clyde Geronimi. The tagline is, Mickey Mouse and Pluto hit the road and run into trouble. Mickey is heading out on vacation from Burbank to Pomona, taking the train. The conductor, Pete, won't let him on with Pluto, so he hides Pluto in his suitcase and tries to hide him all throughout the trip without much luck. But Pete wins when Pluto is hooked by a mail hook, or does he? It's only 8 minutes long. It is exactly that. It's totally fine. Then I watched Mickey's Trailer from 1938, directed by Ben Sharpstein. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are on an adventure car trip. Goofy's in the driver's seat, Mickey's in the kitchen, and Donald is in bed with Mickey's high-tech trailer. When Goofy comes back to eat breakfast, leaving the car on autopilot, it takes them into a dangerous closed mountain road. When Goofy realizes this, he accidentally unhooks the trailer, sending it into a perilous route. They come very close to a disaster several times, while the oblivious Goofy drives them on and hooks back to them. Yeah, it's also fine. It's only 7 minutes long. I don't have a lot of thoughts on these, other than they are classy Mickey, shorts. And if you're looking for vacation shorts, there's a number of them on Disney Plus. Also on Disney Plus, well, I went to Epcot and went on the Figment of Imagination ride with my sister, because it was our sister vacation, and they had a hall of the different scientists related to Disney. Like, they had Eric Idle's character related to Figment, and then Wayne Zielinski from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, played by Rick Moranis. And I've seen those movies before, but I had never seen Flubber, because in the hall was the character Philip Brainerd, Professor Philip Brainerd, who's played by Robin Williams in Flubber. And I said to my sister, I've never seen Flubber. And she's like, what? But I have seen The Absent-Minded Professor, which Flubber is based on. So I figured, I heard this movie was bad. Might as well just give it a shot anyway. I'm on vacation. Flubber is from 1997 and directed by Les Mayfield. The tagline is, catch it if you can. Professor Philip Brainerd, an absent-minded professor, works with his assistant Weeboo, trying to create a substance that's a new source of energy and that will save Medfield College, where his sweetheart Sarah is the president. He has missed his wedding twice, and on the afternoon of his third wedding, Professor Brainerd creates Flubber, which allows objects to fly through the air. So this is a bad movie. I knew it wouldn't be good, but it's not even good in the goofy way kids movies can be goofy, but not really great. It's just bad. I don't like the writing for this one. There's a lot of awful things in this. A lot of inappropriate things, like the Weeble character wanting to be a woman because she's in love with the professor, Philip Brainerd, and I don't think Robin Williams is very good in this. Poor Sarah, the girlfriend, played by Marcia Gay Harden. Unfortunately, she is being, there's an attempt, actually, to seduce her, who's Christopher McDonald's character, played by Wilson Croft. Played by Christopher McDonald, sorry. It's just a very badly written movie. It's not very exciting. As a child, I think I would be bored. It is a very, very long 93 minutes. I will say that. I could not believe how long this movie felt, even though it is so short. It's just not funny. Flubber's barely in it. It's goofy, but it's never whimsical in the right ways where it's entertaining, and I just think it's terrible. I gave this one star. I finally saw it, but I don't think Flubber is worth your time at all. Unfortunately. Another movie that I saw that I do not think is worth your time. It's A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey from 2025, directed by Kogonada. So I was on the plane going to Orlando, Florida, and I wanted to watch Sentimental Value, but then I saw this was there, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch this movie and then part of Sentimental Value, and then watch Sentimental Value again on the way back on the plane. So what ended up happening was I started A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, probably got about 25 minutes in the movie, and then I started to fall asleep. So I was just like, I guess I better shut the movie off, and then I'll just either watch this or Sentimental Value on the way back, right? Well, they didn't have Sentimental Value on the plane on the way back. And I was like, well, that's not the end of the world. I've already seen it before. I just would like to watch it again, So I put on a big, bold, beautiful journey my way home from Orlando. Oh boy. The tagline is relive your past, change your future. Sarah and David are single strangers who meet at a mutual friend's wedding and soon, through a surprising twist of fate, find themselves on a funny, fantastical, sweeping adventure together where they get to relive important moments from their respective pasts, illuminating how they got to where they are in the present and possibly getting a chance to alter their futures. Oh boy, this is a very poorly written film. Unfortunately, I think Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell have no chemistry together. All the outfits worn by Margot Robbie were very strange and odd, and I did not like them. Colin Farrell, very unattractive in this movie, despite him, I think, being in his very most attractive phase, at least to me. I didn't like his facial hair. What was up with that? Odd movie. There's a number of people in this movie who just show up, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Phoebe Waller-Bridge has this really awful character who's German, and every line she repeats is just cringy, terrible. Kevin Kline is in this as well. It's just odd. And then, man, it's just like everything to do with this movie and its whimsical notions and ideas of romance and life and investigating those moments. Oh, when you were a child or when you did the school play or musical rather. I was wow, I was impressed in all the wrong ways. This is a movie that has a lot of things it wants to do, and I think every single one of them is conceived so poorly, not believable, not entertaining. I was just on a plane watching this, and I was like, wow. Like, every moment after the other just really wowed me with how badly conceived they were. And I like Kokonada as a filmmaker, but something about this movie, maybe it's the scripting, maybe it's his filmmaking, and I hate to say it, maybe it's both. It's just the conception of this movie is just so off and so bad and really torturous. The conception of life and how things work. It's like this thing. Like, every once in a while a movie will come along and it's like, why was nobody there in the production process to say maybe we shouldn't do it this way? It's whimsy that's not even like schmaltzy or enjoyable in the ways that it should be and really tug at your heartstrings. It just falls flat. It's a bad movie. I can't even say it was well shot or anything like that. And even so, another thing, all the music cues in this movie are just so badly done and they feel awful. Like, what is this music? What is going on here? It's a terrible film. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey from 2025, directed by Kogonada. Had to give this 1 star. Like, what is this movie? What is it? I don't know. I can't even say it's like it's just so bad it's good. It's just I deeply question why people made this movie the way they made it. Anyway, to close out the episode, I want to tell you about all the short films nominated for the Academy Awards this year that I watched, because there are 3 categories: animated short film, live action short film, and documentary short film. I watched almost all of them. I watched all the ones I could through the internet or different streaming services. So HBO Max, Netflix, Canopy, and YouTube. And a majority of them are available. So for the animated short film category, the nominees are Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Retirement Plan, and Three Sisters. So the only one I couldn't watch was Three Sisters. I can't find it anywhere. But I will say Retirement Plan and The Girl Who Cried Pearls are really fantastic. I would recommend watching those. I also really like the animation in Butterfly, though I like it. I just don't like it as much as the other 2 films I just mentioned, Girl Who Cried Pearls and Retirement Plan. Forever Green, I think, is really well animated, but it's a big step down. There's just something about that short that I'm like not into. And if you watch it, there's a heavy-handedness that will become apparent at some point during the picture. And it's a big disappointment. They didn't need to do that. So I think Butterfly is going to win. I think Butterfly, its painting animation is just really, really lovely, and its conception and how it's trying to tell this story about a French Jewish swimmer who in the 1930s found really big success, but then World War II really changed his life. It's It's a really, really solid animated short. But for me, thinking about the animation and the storytelling, pairing those things together, I was really impressed by The Girl Who Cried Pearls. And Retirement Plan was just terrific. It's nominated by Domhnall Gleeson, and it's only 7 minutes, but go to YouTube and watch Retirement Plan. I don't think it's going to win, but it has something to it that I was really touched by, and I found it fantastic. So now for documentary short films, the ones available for nominations are All the Empty Rooms, Armed with Only a Camera, The Life and Death of Brett Renaud, The Devil is Busy, and Perfectly Strangeness. Another nominee, Children No More, Were and Are Gone, is not on any service from what I can tell, so I could not watch it. So of the four I watched, my favorite was The Devil is Busy. That was a story of women who are working in healthcare to help women who need pregnancy services, specifically to do with abortion. And they work in Georgia, and there is a restriction on abortion in Georgia and how it affects the women who need care. And these women who are, the heroes of healthcare who were doing anything they can to help women out. I thought it was really good. I also liked Perfectly Strangeness, though you can kind of boil that documentary down just to shooting donkeys in the mountainous areas at night. So it's not really much of a story, unfortunately. It looks good. I like the donkeys. Armed only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brett Renaud. I thought it was okay. It's kind of a looser kind of narrative and story of this person, Brent Renaud, who has now passed away, and he was killed. So the story is told by his brother, trying to paint a portrait of his brother's journalism work and being a documentarian. It's all right. And then All the Empty Rooms. Oddly enough, this felt really incomplete to me. It was about children who have lost their lives from gun violence, and then the leftover, rooms where these children will never grow older, and what their rooms were and how their families grapple with that. Just the leftover pieces of them through their bedrooms. It's all right. I kind of felt like it was like, did they cut things out of it? I don't know. But I think The Devil is Busy is my favorite. I don't know what's gonna win. Your guess is as good as mine. I just sadly don't think The Donkeys and Perfectly Strangeness is gonna win. I would be shocked if that won. So I don't have a donkey in that race, I guess you could say. No. But yeah, The Devil is Busy, I think, is my favorite of that bunch. And now for a live action short film. Guess what? I got to watch all of these. The nominees are Butcher's Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, The Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. I think Two People Exchanging Saliva is fantastic. It's a futuristic sci-fi French drama about the relationship between a young department store worker and a client who comes in to buy things, and how the world has restricted people's interactions and intimacy. And I thought it was terrific. What a find. What a great short film. Butcher's Stain, I think that's gonna win. It has a twist in it that is like a no-go on twist for me. Don't like it. It feels like something that's gonna win. And Friend of Dorothy, it's kind of typical kind of short film, like life informing kind of thing. Jane Austen's period drama, it's like kind of a one joke short. I think it's okay, but I don't think it should win. The Singers, I don't know about the execution in this one. It just didn't really do anything for me. But if you got YouTube, watch Two People Exchanging Saliva. I think it's terrific. I was so into that. I thought it was just great, really great storytelling. Would really be interesting to see what the filmmakers behind that one do next. They are Alexandra Singh and Natalie Mostieta. So yeah, those are the shorts I watched that are all nominated for Academy Awards. I didn't get to go to any local theaters for the packages that they have. Your local theater might have it. Mine did not. They did a couple years ago and I went, but this year, nope, didn't have it. So no chance for me. There was a couple other theaters nearby that were also doing those, but they were doing one night only for things, and I was busy working or still on vacation, so it wasn't gonna happen. Bummer. But yeah, the Academy Awards are tomorrow, March 15th, Sunday, March 15th, and I'll have another episode to talk about all the winners and the show and how I felt about it. Um, it's just so up in the air this year with like who could win what other than Jessie Buckley. So it's gonna be an exciting show. I cannot wait. But anyway, I need to end the episode. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Mallory. Cinema5000.com is the website for links and more. And also, I upload the YouTube videos whenever I make them, that is, on the blog for the podcast so you can listen but not really watch. And on YouTube, it's Cinema5000 Podcast. And on Bluesky, it's Cinema5000. If you want to send an email, however, you can send a note to cinema5kpod@gmail.com. Again, my name is Mallory. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We will talk again soon after the Oscars and then about any movies I see. Okay? Alrighty. Thank you so much for listening. Okay, bye.